Edie Squelton hates lies! Boo-hoo!
Guys, all I gotta say is, thank God for Adult Swim. Seriously, these guys are putting their best foot forward and trying to make 2022 a decent year by kicking it off with the highly anticipated Smiling Friends. Not just one brand new episode, not two, but in the spirit of how stealthily they released the pilot, they dropped the entire first season Sunday night, airing it front to back for the world to finally enjoy. And for once, all was right for like 3 hours. Then things went back to sucking. Still, that's 8, count them, 8 brand new episodes. And while we're still cooking up a bigger video dissecting the show for everything that makes it just absolutely incredible, we wanted to give spotlight to all the insane cameos in the first season. If you didn't already know, so much of the DNA making up Smiling Friends just comes from the internet and just internet animation as a whole. The creators Michael Cusack and Zach Hadel, aka psychicpebbles, are both world-renowned animators who have delivered surreal and comical shorts through their platforms on YouTube for years. And if you're like me, you grew up watching them. Also, Michael Cusack made YOLO Crystal Fantasy and Bushworld Adventures, so we already have 2 absolutely stacked creators. How could this fail? So when they got the opportunity to bring a collaborative effort to television, there was absolutely no doubt that they would try to sneak in plenty of cameos from other personalities that helped lay the foundation for what online animation would become. And not only did they deliver, but they went above and beyond, going not just for YouTube animators, but a handful of well-known celebrities, actors, and total memes whose work presumably influenced the creators at one point or another. Either way, it's just a big celebration of the insanely weird world of YouTube animation, and every single cameo was just a complete treat. So let's run down the list of cameos from these 8 episodes and dig a little bit into the origins behind them. That way, after watching this video and the series hits HBO Max, and you're watching it at 1 a.m. drunk and high with your friends, you can point to the screen and go, I know who that is. And then only one of them is mildly impressed. 2 of them start going to their phone as soon as you open your mouth, and everyone else just pretends like they don't hear you. God, I hate socializing. Anyways, like and subscribe. Let's do this. Episode 1, the pilot. Keen-eyed viewers would hear the most notable cameo in the very first episode, Mike from RedLetterMedia voicing Desmond, the latest client of the Smiling Friends, who's on the verge of blowing his brains out before finding a new calling as basically the Punisher for pests.
Get in here and sit at the dinner table! Your son's home!
Oh, would you shut the up, woman!
Is this supposed to make me not want to kill myself?
If you're not familiar, RedLetterMedia is a YouTube channel that's cited for basically changing the review game for insightful yet hilarious critiques on various movies. If you've watched Star Wars essays, chances are you've seen the Mr. Plinkett series, which are regarded as quintessential Star Wars reviews. With how cartoony the energy of RedLetterMedia is, I mean, they literally build sets to talk about movies. It's awesome. It was only a matter of time before one of the hosts broke out into the animation scene, and Mike's performance here shows that he was made for this, specifically this role, but just talking in general. Also low-key but incredibly impressive, the pilot also saw Finn Wolfhard, that kid from Stranger Things, pop up as the complex role of man living in the wall, as well as voicing some of the Blibbies. Finn's brother Nick Wolfhard also voiced some of the Blibbies, and as a fan of Psychic Pebbles know, these brothers first worked with Zach via his retired podcast, Schmucks. Still, it's great to see both of them appear in a bigger project like this, and I wouldn't mind if they popped up again in the future. Maybe individually. Bring back Nick first, that'll fuck with the audience. Have him voice, I don't know, off-brand AirPods that Charlie buys at the flea market, but the pods are alive. And I don't know, maybe just really mean. This is a pitch now. This is officially a pitch. Rounding out the pilot cameos cast is Tom Fulp, the legend behind Newgrounds. He quickly appears as Alpha, the boyfriend of Pim's sister, and all 3 of these are just a perfect trifecta of internet culture and also pop culture, setting the stage for the rest of the season. Moving into the series proper, episode 2 features a cameo from a celebrity and a cameo from an internet funny man. Perfect balance. First, we have Jane Badler, an actress known for her role as series antagonist Diana in V, a sci-fi joint from the 80s. Here she plays the live-action celebrity show host that discusses the rise and fall and rise again of Mr. Frog, America's icon. I love this frog. I'm not too familiar with Badler or her work, but I imagine V was influential on either Hadel or Cusack, and getting her was a no-brainer. It was probably just a matter of her saying yes. Contrasting Badler is Lyle Rath, another well-known animator formerly known as Lyle McDouchebag before rebranding his channel into Rath Club. Lyle voices Jimmy Fallon. Unfortunately, guys, that was not Jimmy Fallon. And I guess he brought the douchebag energy back to the table because he definitely nailed Fallon on all fronts.
Yeah, why don't you tell me about that a little bit? Like what was the worst part about the whole ordeal, like working on your show?
Episode 3 sees the first of many Harry Partridge appearances. Partridge is another internet funny man, animation vet with insane animation skills. It's another person I grew up watching, so hearing his voice was just so great. Like, everyone who's involved with the show is talented, but I swear, Partridge is in a league of his own. Here he voices the Smormoo announcer at the beginning and end of the episode, using a voice his viewers would instantly recognize.
It's Smormoo! You voted and we listened! This cannot be undone!
This episode is loaded with YouTube cameos, as we also have Dave Firth, creator of the nightmare-inducing salad fingers, pop up as Shrimp, a beta the boys try to help after being dumped by his beloved Shrimpina. Shrimp is a pathetic yet extremely unhinged man. I don't respect him, but I fear him.
Hooray! I just reached level 987413 in Mouse Quest.
And last but not least, we gotta break out the drum roll for this one.
Number 15. Could I get the number 15?
Your ears do not deceive you. You are indeed hearing the YouTuber and living meme Chills voicing the customer at the cafe Pim believes Shrimpina works at. The fact that they brought him in for a on-the-nose reference to the Burger King foot lettuce meme, chef's kiss, perfection. I would not have it any other way. You would think that a dead meme like this would not land, but just something about it, it's just done so genuinely. It's perfect. I envy Smiling Friends for getting him on television before I could, because that's a once-in-a-lifetime achievement no one else will ever be able to claim. Episode 4 is a Halloween special and sees 2 actors serve as live-action guests. Jim Noblock as the host whose show serves as the framing device for the special, and Clyde Borain as the officer at the end. Noblock is an American-Australian actor known for his role as Jake Slicker on Dr. Quinn, a show created by his now ex-wife. That's rough, buddy. I want to see who wore the pants in that relationship. That's a joke because he's not wearing pants. I'm not trying to be mean. Clyde Borain is a smaller actor and writer, and I'm not really sure what he could have worked on to put him on Cusack or Hadel's radar, but there's always the possibility he just happened to get cast for the brief occasion. This doesn't seem like a show to chalk up casting to a coincidence, but who knows? At least he's wearing pants. Episode 5 has things get even more murdery than usual, with Perry Caravello as Simon S. Salty, the owner of Salty's, whose death drives the episode as Pim and Charlie try to figure out who done it. Harry Partridge is also credited for this episode, but I cannot pinpoint who he voices for the life of me. Is he Grease? The century egg thing? I don't know, but he's in it somewhere. Episode 6 doesn't feature any guests in this Lord of the Rings homage of an episode, but Harry animates the MIP sequence. Amazing to see that he got to flex his talents a little bit. Episode 7 sees Harry Partridge return as 3D Squelton, an abomination who gets caught in the ideological crossfire between the Smiling Friends and Frowning Friends, as Lyle Rath returns to voice Mr. Man. Last but not least, we have the season finale, a good old Christmas special where Charlie goes to hell. Perfect. At the very end, he has an iconic meeting with Satan himself. And who voices Satan? Sit down for this one. We may need another drum roll. That's right, the angry video game nerd, James Rolfe. I'm floored. From being the founding father of a lot of internet culture, to now being the dark overlord that happens to be in his pissed off gamer days.
Yeah, I didn't know if you were this place or the one next to
I think it's just something to do with the way the address shows up in the app. I mean, you know, it's not a problem. Don't even worry about it.
This was an incredible cameo and proves that life is truly a movie. He also appears in a quick live action shot, practically a jump scare, alongside Mike Stiglassa. And last but not least, rounding out a spectacular first season, we have, and I shit you not, Gilbert Godfrey as God. That's right, stand-up comedian and legendary voice Gilbert Godfrey. Iago from Aladdin Gilbert Godfrey. That one character in Cyber Chase Gilbert Godfrey. He was the dentist from Fairly Odd Parents 2, I'm pretty sure. I don't know how they were able to afford him. Obviously, he is a legend and probably has the highest rate in Hollywood, at least he should, but he's here and is beautiful.
By helping the evil devil, you confronted your own problems.
I won't lie to you, if anyone's going to voice the giant Skyman, Godfrey may not have been my first choice, but it's clear now he's the only choice.
Merry Christmas!
God, that voice. it's God. At the end of the day, this was an incredible first season, and I think that Smiling Friends is so different because it's just so engulfed in internet culture in a genuine way. It's not like when Euphoria mentions Tumblr. These are like actual internet people creating content, and they're bringing everyone along for the ride, and we are all enjoying and appreciating it. It's perfect. Smiling Friends works because it could also exist on the internet just as well, but it's on Adult Swim, and hopefully we'll find a massive audience on HBO Max. I was blown away by the first season and these celebrity voices. I hope you were as well. But as always, let us know what you think in the comments down below. As always, guys, I'm Nemo. This is a voice cameo breakdown, and I'll see you next time. Peace.